What is up, guys? We are back at it again for the 8th round of this 2017 career mode here in Baku. And if we're looking at the Toro Rosso, we are once on board with Nico Curry, who is replacing the Pierre Gasly, and we actually have a new chassis for the Toro Rosso following a bit of a crash structure change to the Toro Rosso after the Canadian Grand Prix incident. But obviously it looks a lot better in my opinion. Shout out to the helmet designer who designed this Nico Curry helmet. It was absolutely gorgeous. His Twitter is on the screen right now and you can go and follow him. But anyway, let's go get into the race and we wait for the 5 lights to start. 3 lights, 4, 5 lights here in Azerbaijan, and we are underway. Daniel Ricciardo leading the field away from the 2 Ferraris. Going to have a look, as it looks like the Bottas is going to have a look at Hamilton, and they're going to touch. Hamilton is going to plot his teammate into the wall. Max Verstappen gets squished by Nico Curry. Both Ferraris still following the Red Bull, and Nico Curry has made it up into 4th place. He could possibly get overtaken by Lewis Hamilton. Coming in to turn 3, we've got Lance Stroll in the pursuit of Max Verstappen. Nico Curry looks like is side by side with Hamilton, but Lance Stroll is going to try and get the move done now on Max Verstappen, but he's going to get a bit twitchy under acceleration. The Max Verstappen is going to pull to the left hand side. He's going to have to hold it around the outside on the soft tyre, while Lance Stroll is on the super soft. But it looks like Verstappen has made that move and is up into another position. But we've got a safety car, most likely due to the incident at turn 1 with Bottas and Hamilton. However, it was only a minor incident. We're going to have a look at a replay of a few on-board starts to see what happened. We've got Valtteri Bottas here, and he's going to get away really well. You can see Hamilton got off to an awful start. Bottas didn't really know where to pick, and he kind of got squeezed by Lewis Hamilton. He had nowhere to go, so he's going to lose a place for Force India and also Carlos Sainz. Max Verstappen, on the other hand, he had an alright start, a bit twitchy on acceleration, but he's going to nestle up behind the 2 Ferraris, and he's just going to lock a rear brake, I suppose, as Nico Curry hits him on the way through. So that drops him down into around about P5, around about there, and obviously keeping ahead of Lance Stroll. But Lewis Hamilton just got off to an awful start. Nico Curry coming up his inside, and he just gets hit from behind. I think he moves over to the left just a little bit, just to come across Bottas. But obviously Bottas coming in, getting a brand new front wing on that Mercedes, just to make sure, you know, you can continue the race. He's going to be at the back of the grid, but Daniel Ricciardo is still going to be leading the safety car when it does decide to come in. So the top 3 haven't lost any places, haven't changed from qualifying. It's only Nico Curry that has moved any places at all. Coming to look at Valtteri Bottas now, he's actually in P20 at the moment. So Valtteri Bottas has gone from top 10 all the way down to P20, which is absolutely awful for him. So we are in the process of waiting for the safety car restart. We are right behind our fellow Finn of Kimi Räikkönen. So we're going to try and get much of an advantage as we can. As we're going to just stay in the slipstream, and it looks like we're going to go side by side. Still a yellow flag, so it's going to be very close. We're going to put the pedal down now. Vettel goes into the pits. We are up the inside of Kimi Räikkönen, and we're going to be a little bit late on the brakes. We're going to bang tyres with our fellow Finn compatriot. We're going to make that position into P2. Ricciardo's going to stretch his legs as best as he can, try and get away from us, but we're going to have Kimi Räikkönen in our slipstream, so this is not going to be no easy feat trying to hold off that Ferrari engine. He's going to come up this right hand side of us. Looks like Max Verstappen is slightly behind him as well, so Verstappen could come through if we're not careful, and Räikkönen is going to make that move. Verstappen's trying to make that move, going to squeeze Max Verstappen off, and Carlos Sainz is going to try and make a move on the Haas, well, also trying to make a move on Max Verstappen. But if anything goes, Carlos Sainz should have that position done done and dusted. Looking on lap 5 as Verstappen and Magnussen, and he collects by Carlos Sainz. That's Verstappen into the wall, and that is going to be Verstappen out of this race. I'm not quite sure what happened there. It looked like Magnussen tried going to the pit lane. I'm not sure if Verstappen was, but completely took him out. Ricciardo's in the pit lane, so I highly doubt that Verstappen was. We're going to look on board and see what happened here. He just pulls across Verstappen right here, and obviously Magnussen's going to hit the wall, lose his front wing. He's going to try and go back, I guess, but obviously he can't do that. So Verstappen's just going to get pinched, and he's going to collect the Toro Rosso. Hopefully there's no damage to Carlos Sainz, and he always gets collected by the following cars that are coming down the start-finish straight. But lap 6 now, we've made our pit stop. We're in P15, just behind Ricciardo. There's 3 more cars just ahead of us at this time. It's going to get a bit tight into the into the comment section. Excuse me, as Ricardo goes deep, we're going to go up the inside of Ricardo. We're going to have a look at the Haas, and we're also going to have a look at the Williams as well. The Haas is going to go slow. That's Grosjean. Lance Stroll, who's just ahead of us. We're going to have a look at him down the inside, and we're actually going to make that move. So we just passed 3 cars in one sequence of corners, or a few sequences of corners, I should say. But that was absolutely fantastic. We'll have to look at that again, because that was awesome. So we get past Ricardo here. Grosjean gets a poor traction coming out of that corner. Lance Stroll didn't get much better. We're going to have a look at Lance Stroll. We're just going to come through around that corner into the lead. That was a great piece of overtaking on his debut, I may add. Speaking of Toro Rossos, we've got Carlos Sainz currently leading the race, just ahead of Paul di Resta, who is filling in for Felipe Massa, lap 6. He hasn't made his pit stop at the moment, though, so currently Carlos Sainz is leading the race. We've got Valtteri Bottas, who started in last place at the safety car restart. He's making his way through the field. He's got the 2 McLarens and his teammate Lewis Hamilton ahead of him. So Lewis Hamilton also hasn't pitted at this point, so he's dropped down quite a bit. And he's going to have a look here at former teammate Fernando Alonso, and he's going to make an absolute meal of him. He's got the 2 Renaults just ahead of him of Palmer and Nico Hülkenberg as Valtteri Bottas comes into frame. So he'll be battling the 2 McLarens, and here we are. We've got Stoffel Van Dorn and Fernando Alonso just ahead of him. If he can try and dispatch with at least one of the McLarens coming down the start-finish straight, that'll be him happy, and indeed he has. I believe he has got rid of Stoffel Van Dorn. Hamilton not past the Renaults at this point. He was sure to be past them any second now, but it looks like Valtteri Bottas' main goal at this point in the race is to get past the second McLaren Honda. It's actually Van Dorn, so it looks like Fernando Alonso lost out to both Valtteri Bottas and Stoffel Van Dorn on the start-finish straight, but Valtteri Bottas sails past the orange McLaren Honda. His next target is actually going to be Lewis Hamilton, who will most likely be pitting anytime soon. A little bit further back, we've got Esteban Ocon here, who's up the back of, I believe that's Lance Stroll and Romain Grosjean. So it's the battle that Nico Carriover took from. He's going to go really tight. We've got essentially 6 cars within a second of each other. We're going to hold on to the position. It looks like Lance Stroll held on to that position, but Ocon has actually got through and is Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo is actually in a Force India sandwich at the moment, which is pretty interesting to me. But Lewis Hamilton is now attacking both of the Renaults. He's made past one, goes into the pits. The second one he sails past down the start-finish line. So he's got his teammate, who has already pitted, about 2 seconds behind, which is, at this point in time, that could be a net P1, assuming Bottas doesn't pit again. But Carlos Sainz has come back out of the pit lane. He's come out just ahead of this battle. So that means Carlos Sainz is up to a net P5. I think, after everyone's made all their stops. But Daniel Ricciardo, who was once in this race at the start of the Grand Prix, he's just caught up with the rest of the field. He came back out in a really bad time. We obviously overtook him, as well as Grosjean and Lance Stroll, and he just can't get past them. The downforce in this Red Bull is just absolutely horrific, and he's going to hit the wall. He's going to hit a Force India. He could lose both places of the Force India, and if he's not careful, a position to the McLaren as well. It looks like Esteban Ocon is going to hold and come through. Esteban Ocon still has to pit. He's only holding up Daniel Ricciardo for the meantime. We have got Lewis Hamilton now coming into the pit, so that will release Valtteri Bottas. So Hamilton making a very late pit stop indeed, but there he is. Valtteri Bottas is currently leading the race from 20th place on lap 3. He is now leading the race 10 laps later. That has been a fantastic decision, and he's on the soft tyres. If they last, then that's an astounding victory. We've got Nico Hülkenberg now, who's going to try and overtake, it looks like a Haas of Magnussen, and also his teammate. It's going to, one Renault gets past, he's going to go past the other one. It's actually Romain Grosjean, so Grosjean's falling down the field a little bit, and that's Nico Hülkenberg with a little lock up, and he's going to make his way past the struggling Haas. A little bit further back, we've got a Sauber. We haven't seen much of the Saubers. He's going to go past the Force India, or he's going to attempt to pass the Force India of Esteban Ocon. He's going to slide down the inside, and he's actually going to get alright traction compared to the Force India. The Force India is really not competitive at all so far this season, but it looks like the Sauber is going to hopefully try and get past. Ocon's still going to challenge him though. Ericsson not too far behind. He came into shot just before the camera cut away to go on board with Pascal Wehrlein. We're not sure where Ocon is at this point. Ocon's behind him, and Ericsson is side by side, and Ericsson is actually going to go past the German Sauber driver, and Ericsson's going to gain 2 positions on one stretch of straight. So Ericsson, he just pulled one out of the bag over his German teammate, so he's going to be thrilled with that. But lap 11, coming to the end of lap 11, soon to be lap 12, we've got Carlos Sainz who is in a net P4. He's in P4 at the moment, just ahead of I believe it's Nico Carey, and then just behind the two Ferraris. We're going to go 3 abreast down the start-finish straight. The Force India still battling away with the Saubers, and it looks like Ocon's just going to stay ahead. So Ocon is really far down the field at this point. Excuse me. Ocon not done a bad job, but we're looking at our teammate Carlos Sainz, and Carlos Sainz is a lot closer to Kimi Räikkönen than he was this time last lap. The super soft tyres helping him out massively. Kimi Räikkönen pit at the same time we did. Now started the final lap with Bottas in the lead, but we're focusing on Carlos Sainz, who's going to overtake Kimi Räikkönen, and he's just going to sail past that Ferrari engine. So unless Kimi Räikkönen's got an issue, then I don't see him getting past Carlos Sainz even at the following straight. But here comes our race leader and soon-to-be race winner from P20 all the way up to P1. This has been a fantastic drive from Valtteri Bottas. He's going to claim victory here in Azerbaijan. A second consecutive year Mercedes have won here in Azerbaijan, and he takes this win, and he deserves it after a lap 1 collision. He managed to make it work, and you can see he is absolutely elated with that victory. We've got a little bit more going on behind. That's Nico Carey, Lance Stroll. It's going to be one of the Renaults. It's probably Jolyon Palmer if I'm not mistaken, and they're going to come across. It's going to be a photo finish, but I'm pretty sure that Lance Stroll just about managed to take that position. Only just. There wouldn't be too much in it. But Lance Stroll having another good race, but this man right here absolutely deserved this win, coming from last place on the grid to first. Very Jenson Button-esque in Canada 2001, minus all the rain. But obviously Valtteri Bottas did a fantastic job today for Mercedes. Kimi Räikkönen still leading the championship, just ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Again, 2 to 6 is really close. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how far and how close they can all get together. Nico Carey, same points as his replacement Pierre Gasly. It's going to be very interesting to see how that one develops and how much longer Ferrari can stay on top. Looking at the constructors, Ferrari still lead. Anyway guys, that's been it for me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, it should be out soon. Anyway, until next time, bye bye.